G'day guys, welcome back. My name is Wildkard. Yeah, Waratahs versus the Highlanders. Yeah, it was ugly. It was pretty bad at times for both teams. But for me, I'm actually not too upset with the Waratahs after this performance. I know the first half was horrendous, like missed tackles absolutely everywhere. Tangi Tao looked like, I don't know, like an adult running through children at times. Quite embarrassing. But I did see some guts in the second half for the Waratahs team, which is good. And I did see some, more importantly, direction that the coaching staff wanted to do with the players on the field. Right? Last week we just drawn into the kicking game. Last week drawn into the kicking game and got completely dominated by the Western Force. Play the game that the opposition wanted to play, and we got completely dominated. Right? This week we did not do that. We actually had an idea of where we wanted to go. There were so many weeks with the Waratahs. They would build with the forwards, keeping it tight, and then the ball never goes wide, and you have Swali'i and Jorgensen. You have one of the most dangerous backline in the world, just standing there twiddling the thumbs and watching the forwards eventually either score a try or get held up over the try line. Right? How many times have we seen that from the Waratahs? They were just too reluctant to spread wide. This week, I clearly saw, especially in the second half, even in the first half as well, actually, the Waratahs was more targeted to go wider, right? They definitely made a bigger effort to try to get the ball wider, and especially creating some space for Swali'i, right? I actually saw Harry Potter coming in at the 12 play channel and trying to create a bit of a space for Swali'i. At least once this game, which is good, something that the Wallabies did. And again, just trying to create something for Swali'i. And when he did get the space, he was actually quite good tonight. That speed, that ability to pump players off and still get the offload. Did show quite a bit of promise today as well. And this is just something that I was really hoping the team worked on early in the season, right? You worked on in the season and you build towards a game like this where you had an opportunity to actually make a difference, right? But because you haven't done any of these things for the entire season, you haven't been able to take the risks, you haven't been able to push the players out of their comfort zone for the entire season, right? You come into a game like this where your playoff is on the line. You're away in Dunedin. You're getting screamed at by a bunch of Kiwis and booed at by the zoo. How do you expect the players to deliver the results that you're looking for if you never even tried it when you were at home against the Blues, down the road against the Brumbies, and you just taking yourself into kicking penalty goals, and now you're in a situation where the execution just not there, the polish is not there, and opportunity like this slips away. And guess what? Right? Hopefully the team takes this opportunity to keep building, keep backing themselves for potentially next season. It is probably over. It is probably over for the Waratahs this season. I think it is over for the Waratahs this season. But you build up to the next season. You build towards the next thing, right? You gotta just keep going. It's something that you cannot just expect. And this is the thing, not just the Waratahs. This is kind of a thing for the Wallabies as well. You cannot just expect the players to show up at the Bledisloe Cup or like the Rugby World Cup quarterfinal or something and expect them to pull out a miracle win from behind when they've never even attempted to do this in Super Rugby, right? That's just not going to happen. And it's good. And this is showed. The players has the talent. The execution is not there, but it takes time. How many tries we botched this game, right? Kind of in that second half, kind of reminded me against the Blues in the first half, right? And instead of just backing yourselves and kept going at it, right, knowing that, hey, we are doing the right things, we're actually getting over the try line, and we're actually getting over the advantage line, right? We're breaking through those tackles, but just some of the handling is not quite there. We got held up, knock on, pushed out, try line, just not there. But we just have to spend the rest of the season working on it, so that when another opportunities arise, like against the Highlanders, we are able to get those tries on the board. We are able to get those eliminate those knock-ons and stuff, right? And because what happened? What happened after the Blues game, right? We've just gone, oh my god, let's kick penalties. Every time there's a challenge presented to the Waratahs, we go for the penalties. We go for the easy way out. We'll go the penalties against the Crusaders. We'll kick penalties against Brumbies, even though we won that one, right? And then suddenly you're in a position in this one. You look at your playbook, and you look like, how far have you developed in the last 5 rounds since the Blues game, where you made all these silly mistakes in front of the try line? Oh, you've done nothing. You've done absolutely fucking nothing. And you're still making the exact same mistakes you made 5 rounds ago against the Blues in front of the try line. You can't score against 13 players. Right? And sometimes you just gotta look at it and say, hey, against the Crusaders in Christchurch, we might not gonna win this one, but hey, we're gonna fucking do everything we can to improve as a team and set ourselves up to win the next time. Not to just take a bunch of penalties and make the scoreboard look good and pretend that we're getting better, right? How many did we lose to the Crusaders last year? What, 25 points? Let's try to lose by 23 this time and call that an improvement. By kicking a bunch of penalty goals. That is bullshit. That is just nonsense. The whole team hasn't worked together as a group to improve for the entire season, and now it's too late. You gotta build for the next season now. I am sorry. You build to the next season. Yeah. The Waratahs had a chance. This is what happens, right? So there was obviously yesterday we had that referee overlooking knock-ons and got booed and lots of comments. This game, there were again there were right decisions where the referee, disallowed multiple tries because of little knock-ons here and there for both teams. And one of the problems I did notice is that there was a knock-on for Nadeki. He got a hit and the ball dropped on the ground. And it was kind of like maybe not knock on. It definitely, came out of his hand. Maybe went backwards, maybe not. But the referee have ruled that it was a knock on, probably because of what happened yesterday. And the whole stadium start booing. Now, this is the problem, right? Rugby Australia and New Zealand Rugby has opened the Pandora's box. You have conditioned the viewers that little mistakes are okay. Little knock-ons, we can just brush it over. You've opened the Pandora's box. You've conditioned the fans to not expect a knock-on to be called. And this is what happens when you throw the integrity of the sport out of the window. All right? But you got to keep going. You got to keep going. You have to recondition the fans to let them know, hey, we're going to follow the rules again. Right? The whole idea of manufacturing content for the sake of, I don't know, highlight reels or whatnot at all costs, right? Has to go for rugby. Has to go. I don't know how much you pay for those idiot consultants from, McKinsey or whatever that told you boarding time play is really important. Let me tell you something. Content is more important. Good content is more important. No one cares. No one watching something saying that, oh, boarding time play, oh my god, that's a bit low. I'm not going to watch this sport anymore because the boarding time play is a little bit low. Just utter bullshit. It's about content. It's about delivering the right content that is exciting for the fans. Boarding time play is just utter rubbish. I make these videos like this about rugby. Zero boarding time play. Is a consultant going to come and tell me, hey, Wildkard, maybe you should actually play some rugby in this video to improve your viewership for rugby content? Stupid stuff. And it's going to take some time for the referee to recondition the fans to not boo when a correct decision is made, right? But it's going to take time. You did this to yourselves. And it is what it is. And let me tell you something. When the teams go play international rugby, against having like English referees or French referees, this is exactly what's going to happen. And that is actually where the money is for New Zealand rugby and Australian rugby. It's at the test levels. It's the All Black jerseys that sell seats and viewership. And if you condition all your fans in Super Rugby that, hey, little things, the referee should just be overlooked. When you get to the big stage, when actually all the eyes are on the game, and people are like, hang on, why is the referee constantly blowing up our team? Not because the referee's fault, because your team has spent the entire Super Rugby season making stupid mistakes that's not been called. And you never learn to actually correct themselves. That's when you're actually going to push people away in troves. In troves, right? What else do I want to talk about? Yeah, there was yeah, that's pretty much it. The scrum got dominated this game. I was actually talking about this my last review with the Highlanders. I said, despite having Ethan de Groot and Tarval, two of the literally All Blacks quality front rowers, they weren't able to turn that scrum into a weapon. But this round they definitely did. They definitely did an outstanding job of turning that scrum into a weapon. Got a number of penalties, and I'm surprised that it didn't get a yellow card from some of those stuff. And then once they came off and the reserve props came on, and the Waratahs actually just immediately taken back the dominance in the scrummaging, and just showed how much of a difference it made. And it's that's one of the big positives I did see from the Highlanders in terms of getting that area right, something that clear advantage they had. Finally be able to turn that into some profits. One last thing, the referee Damon Murphy there was a time where one of the scrum went down, and Charlie Gamble was like, oh, he clearly he did swore at the referee. He said, he clearly fucking pancaked, and then the referee wasn't having it, and then marched them 10 meters. Yeah, I just think that Damon Murphy, in a situation like that, the scrum, again, it shows me that he was looking for a reason to not repack the scrum. He was just looking for a reason to not repack the scrum. And you have, Charlie Gamble just gave him one, essentially. He didn't want to give the repack scrum. Great. I'm going to penalize you for yelling at me. But yeah, again, it's just another one of those things where they're manufacturing content, right? We're telling the referees we don't want to scrums, want to speed the game up, and then the referee's like so reluctant to repack the scrum. He's searching every little excuse and reason to not have the scrum repacked, and that's given that is what I saw. There was a yellow card against Tavatav Nawai as well. Yeah, I'm not sure. That was literally the first penalty that was given away by the Highlanders, and the referee was almost like looking for a reason to send somebody off. Said, he looked like he probably got a legal turnover, in my opinion. But the referee said that he was off his feet. He was pushed off his feet by the cleaners, and that he killed a line break opportunity, which was not. There were Highlander players everywhere to defend this. There was not any threat of a try being scored there. Yeah, no, he did improve him. He did prove himself, redeem himself at the end to win the game. Tavatanawai. But again, I just, there were moments where the referee, I did feel like he was just looking for trouble. There was a red card against Nareki, I think it was. Nareki for high shot. I did think that there was mitigating factors. Barrett, the Waratahs prop, looked like he ducked into it. And then it was a shoulder, and he didn't duck deep down enough. But I thought that was just a yellow card at most. But yeah, the Waratahs against 13 players wasn't able to score multiple times due to handling errors, because let's kick penalties for a lot of the opportunities they had early in the season, right? Anyway, let's talk about the match stats of the game. 4 tries to 4. 359 run meters to the Highlanders of 565 for the Waratahs. 155 carries for the Waratahs. The Highlanders 90. 9 turnovers conceded for the Highlanders. 12 turnovers conceded for the Waratahs. 208 tackles made. The Highlanders 25 missed tackles. Only 90 tackles made for the Waratahs. 30 missed tackles. Most of that was in the first half. For the Waratahs, it was pretty bad. 22 kicks in play for the Highlanders. 14 for the Waratahs. The kicking game definitely dialed down quite a bit. The one missed conversion. One missed penalty for the Highlanders. They hit the goalpost. Like, neither teams did much kicking game, which was surprising to me, especially from for the Highlanders perspective. For me, knowing Jamie Joseph as international test coach, kinda has like the kicking game as a playbook. Definitely has a playbook for Highlanders. Always a team that likes to kick a little bit more than I think they should. But in this game, I'm very surprised they didn't just pursue that kicking game a bit more, because how badly the Waratahs went last week against the kicking game of the Western Force. So I'm a little bit surprised that the Highlanders did not just play a bit more kicking, like they did in almost like in the test match. But yeah, I mean, it actually played a bit towards the Waratahs' advantage here. 571 kick meters from the Highlanders, 307 for the Waratahs there. The one thing I thought the Waratahs was a little bit surprising as well. They had like penalty advantages at times, and they just never went for the crossfield. Never went for the crossfield. I don't think they did. Maybe they did once, but a lot of times when there's a penalty advantage right in front of the try line, probably could go in for a bit of crossfield or something. But yeah, never really rolled the dice there. I think something that could be improved there. 12 lineouts for Highlanders, no loss. 12 lineouts for the Waratahs, 4 lost. Yeah, most of that, was not that great. 7 scrums for the Highlanders, 1 scrum loss. 4 for the Waratahs, no loss. I think that was a technical penalty. Maybe it was an early push or something. That was a loss for the Highlanders. But look at the second half possession, 34%, 39%. So the Waratahs actually had more possession. Had a lot more possession in the second half than they did in the first half. But they actually had more possession for the entire game, and not able to convert that into points, into tries, because you haven't done it. You haven't tried for most of the season. 12 penalties conceded for the Highlanders, 1 red card, 1 yellow card. 13 for the Waratahs, no cards conceded at all, and that's actually quite high for the averages nowadays. The teams, I've asked the question to the viewers, are teams actually getting more disciplined, or are the referees just not blowing penalties as they should? Maybe it's both, right? And this time, both teams has ballooned into double digits in terms of penalty count for the game. Anyway, let's look at the point summary of the game. 7 minutes into the game, there was a wide ball for Highlanders. This was the period where Tangitau looked like Superman. Suali'i shot off the line and then missed this tackle 1-on-1, and Tangitau, he just slaps through a bit of a gap. Some nice hands down the sideline, and Lowe got like an inside ball from I think, and then went in for the try. 7 points to 0. 10 minutes into the game, pretty much right away, there was a scrum for Highlanders. They got a penalty. There was a crash ball, and Tangitau picked up the ball, looked up a bunch of forwards in front of him, just ran through like 6 defenders, essentially, literally 6 defenders. I'm not making a joke. I just missed tackles everywhere. Literally through like the whole forward pack almost, and then went in for the try. 14 points to 0. 90 minutes in the game. Again, there was penalties after penalties against the Waratahs. The ball for the Highlanders went wide. It was, I think, Lowe had the ball on the wing. As he was getting pushed out, threw the ball back in the field, and Nipkins ran in for the try. 21 points to 0. 90 minutes in the game. Yeah. After this, the Waratahs look like they've just completely given up or something. The kickoff didn't go 10. And then there was a line break. Yellow card to Tavata Nawai, who referee claimed that he'd sealed the ball illegally, but I thought it was fine. With one play in the bin in the first half, the Waratahs finally able to get themselves back a little bit. They were actually, you can see that they were trying to get Suali'i into the game a little ball. There was a nice little over the top to Suali'i. Suali'i to Jorgensen to Andrew White to Andrew Callaway. It was like 2-on-1 actually. Just stepped both of them in field and ran in for the try. 21 points to 7. 35 minutes in the game, just before half time, there was another scrum for the Highlanders, and essentially the ball kind of came out. You almost look like almost like an NFL play, like where they flood the zone. They literally had like 6-7 players just in this big clump, like running into like the center field, and then the ball gets passed over the top, but went to one of the players in the big group, and then he went over the top to Lowe, who ran in for another try. 28 points to 7 half time. Yeah. And then the Highlanders didn't score any tries in the second half. There was just one penalty right at the end. Yeah. So second half starts earlier on, 4 minutes in. So Ali able to find a bit of a space with teams trying to set up him out wide. 48 minutes, there was a quick crash ball from, I think there was a line out from the Waratahs, and then the new guy Ranawai, the prop that debuted last week, runs into the defender and he trips over the top and rolls over the try line for the try. 28 points to 12. There was a red card to Nareki after this, so Waratahs playing against 14 for 20 minutes. 60 minutes, Jorgensen was able to find a nice little gap, and then it was looking like there was just like a little bit of pass between him and Harvey, and Harvey was so close to the try line, wide open. Jorgensen passed the ball to him and he dropped the ball. Yeah, really painful there. 60 minutes. If that had scored, the Waratahs would probably had more time to get this game back into the Rainers game back in. More repeated penalties against the Highlanders after this. I'm surprised there was not another yellow card by Damon Murphy, despite the repeated yellow card. The penalties right in front of the goalpost. 68 minutes, another tap and go. You look like Swali'i got a white pass that ran through, but there was a little knock on leading into this. Another penalty here, no yellow card still. 70 minutes, there was quick tap for the Waratahs, and then pick and drive from Halaholo gets in for the third try for the Waratahs, 28 points to 19. And then after this, there was a lot of more pressure building, more penalties. 78 minutes, the Waratahs had the line out inside the Highlanders 22. There was like a dummy more, then the ball went out to the 10 channel, and a nice little inside pass to Harvey, who was just hiding behind the line out. More essentially ran through that little 9-10 channel for the try, 28 points to 26. And then, yeah, from the kickoff, again, there was about a minute left on the clock. If you've never played in this situation before, it's difficult to say. You know, if you ask the Springboks what they should do in this situation, you still got a minute left. Are they going to kick the ball away and try to force a turnover at the halfway? Or are they going to run 80 meters, right? 80 plus meters maybe, to try to score from inside your own half. I don't know, but the Waratahs tried to run 80 meters to score, and then they got turned over by Tamatamanaawai to end the game, redeeming that yellow card, I guess. But yeah, 31 points to 26. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on this game. Cheers.